Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Hello to my regular subscribers and also hello to those of you who are new. My name is Melissa and I love to share grocery hauls on this channel as well as food prep and how to create meals and things for your family for less. I really enjoy doing that. So today we're doing a very simple food prep and I have a ton of these apples that I had gotten in a few of my recent grocery hauls. I had a summer farm share and every time I would go to the farm I would actually purchase some apples alongside of my regular share that I already prepaid for. If you've seen go check out my videos and I will tell you all the details. Anyways, I've been picking up some apples every week, so I want to make some applesauce. I'm also going to probably put some aside for my hubby. He loves to have these for a snack as well, but you can see I have a ton here. I also have a pumpkin that I picked up from the farm. I'm going to roast that and puree it so I can use that for some recipes. And I'm going to cook just one little delicata squash. My daughter has not yet tried delicata squash yet. She wants to give it a try. So I'm going to roast that up. I do believe I have a video. It's an older video. I don't even know what the quality is like, but I will link that down below on how I cook the delicata squash. I'm not sure if it's going to be even the same way I make it today because like I said, it was an older video, so I don't even remember how I made it. But I will share today how I'm going to make this one as well. So let's get into this. Oh, and I just wanted to share with you guys as well. I have back here my little rice cooker. I know some people have crock pots and pressure cookers and all that. But I'm going to use my little Aroma is the brand, not sponsored, rice cooker to make my applesauce and roast my apples. So, and also to make it very pleasant in here and smelling nice. I know everything's going to smell nice pretty soon after cooking all these apples and pumpkins. I have my maple pumpkin candle burning from Aldi's. If you have not seen that little mini Aldi haul that I did where I showed all the new fall things, I'll link that right above in the iCards. Go check it out because their candles are amazing. And I was in their store the other day and they're putting out the Christmas stuff and they have the Christmas ones. They're already starting to put the Christmas ones out. Haven't picked them up yet. Still working on the fall ones. But anyways, I figured I would share that with you as well. Let's get into this and let's get started. Alright guys, so I'm going to start with the delicata squash and the pumpkin. I think I'm going to cut the delicata squash first. So I have my very little tiny cutting board. I need to get a new cutting board. I need to get a larger one. It is on the list, but I'm going to use this little one. Anyway, so I have a knife here as well as a pumpkin cutter. I highly recommend, now that Halloween is over, if you can find in your stores like the clearance like pumpkin cutters, or if you even have them, leave them out, use them all year long. I like to save them and use them for cutting like squashes and things like that. It just makes life so much easier. Any kind of squash, sometimes using a knife is I find it's a little bit harder. Let me know, what you guys find easier. Do you guys use the pumpkin cutter or do you use a regular knife? But I just find that works really, really well. So we're going to cut this delicata squash up first. I have 2 pans here. They are lined with parchment. These are those parchment sheets I had gotten from Dollar Tree like a while ago. I highly recommend these if you see these in your Dollar Tree. So convenient. You don't have to worry about cutting it out to fit the pan. Fits perfectly on a baking sheet. So we're gonna put those on there. So let's get cutting this delicata squash. Alright guys, so here is what the delicata squash looks like once you slice it up. What I did was I just sliced it lengthwise and then I'm going to scrape out all the seeds just like, any other squash that has seeds in the middle. And then I'm just going to slice it up into smaller pieces. The great thing about delicata squash is you can eat the skin as well. It is so good. It has a very sweet taste. Let me know down below if you've had delicata squash before and let me know what your favorite squash is. I would love to know because I know I have not tried them all. I know some of them are not 100% keto friendly, but I still would like to try them at some point. But let me know down below what your favorite squash is. So what I'm going to do is, like I said, scrape the seeds out of here, and then we're going to slice this up, and I'm going to put it on the baking sheet. So here is the delicata squash. As you can see, it is all sliced up. It's almost like half moon shapes. So what I'm going to do, like I said, I put it on the baking sheet. I'm going to drizzle a little bit of some avocado oil. We're going to put a little bit of some sea salt, some Himalayan pink sea salt. A little bit of some cinnamon. nutmeg, and a little bit of some ground ginger. And normally I would actually put a little bit of some cracked black pepper, but I am all out, so we're just gonna skip that for today. You know, sometimes you just gotta use what you have, or you know, or you don't have. You know, you just gotta kind of play around with your recipes. That's the great thing about cooking, is you can make it your own. So once I put that all on there, I'm just going to toss that around and get every one of these coated, and then we're going to toss them in the oven. All right, so these are all coated with the seasoning and the avocado oil. You can also use olive oil if you have that, if you prefer, whichever. Like I said, use what you have. I have the oven on 400 degrees. I'm gonna put these in there. Just keep an eye on them. You know, they're probably gonna take a good amount of time, maybe 20 to 30 minutes, depending on your oven. But you'll see they'll start to get all cooked and like roasted, and like they'll start to caramelize, and they'll be so good. So we're gonna get those in the oven, and then we're going to start cutting up the pumpkin. All right, so we are onto the pumpkin, and what I did was I just put it on a like a kitchen towel just to kind of stabilize it while I am cutting it up. I'm gonna cut it, I think, in half first and scoop out all the seeds, and then we're gonna cut it probably into like smaller sizes, just so it fits on the pan. Like I said, we are just roasting this up to puree it, so it doesn't need to be perfect. So let me get started and cut that up. Alright guys, so here is the pumpkin all cut up, and I scooped out all the insides and the seeds, so I'm going to throw that in the oven. We're going to roast that up, and then what I did was I did separate the seeds, because I'm going to roast those up and make some pumpkin seeds, roasted pumpkin seeds as well. We actually did some the other day when we carved our pumpkin for Halloween. I did like a cinnamon sugar kind, which were really, really good. We've been snacking on those. I think with this batch, I'm gonna do something maybe spicy, maybe a little bit of like some, you know, I don't know, something a little spicy, I think, like a more of a savory, since we did a sweet one the other day. But I'm gonna let these drain here, and then what I'll do is I let them sit on some paper towels, and then I will roast them in the oven. Alright guys, so here's the delicata squash. It is all finished. It took about 15-20 minutes, like I said, on 400. Just keep an eye, everybody's ovens are different. So it is all soft and like caramelized on top. It looks so delicious. I did give a taste, you know, I did taste one of the pieces just to see how the flavor was, and it tastes really good. I hope my daughter really enjoys trying this out for the first time. Let me know how, you know, let me know if you guys, like I said before, if you like delicata squash. I absolutely love it. It is one of my favorites. So I hope that she enjoys this as well. She does really enjoy sweet potatoes, so I'm hoping because she likes that, I made it sort of similar to that with the same seasonings, that she will enjoy it. So I'm just gonna put this into like a glass dish and put it in my fridge, and we will be saving that for her for dinner one night. So now that the delicata squash is all done and put away, I'm going to use the same exact pan, the same exact parchment paper. There will be a little bit of the seasoning from the delicata squash, but it's perfectly fine. I try to do that as much as possible, is just to reuse the parchment over and over again, as you know, when I'm doing food prep, so you're not being wasteful. And it is already greased a little bit as well. You don't have to grease the pan when you do roasted pumpkin seeds, but it's going to give them a nice little extra little crispiness. So what I did, like I said, I wanted to make these a little bit like maybe sweet and spicy at the same time. So what I did was I put a little bit of some monk fruit sweetener, and then I took some of this sweet Baby Ray's hot sauce and drizzled some of that on there. And then I also put some Himalayan pink salt. I love this one from Redmond's. It is so good. It is like really pure Himalayan salt. So great. It is so great for you. And that's pretty much it. Just kind of, you know, spread them out on the pan evenly. I'm going to throw them in the oven, and we're going to roast those up. Alright guys, so we are now finally on to the apples, and I washed them all. I also separated some here. These will be for the hubby for snacking, just a few. I'm sure we will be back to the farm because they do have a farm stand that is open for the next few weeks, and pick up a few more. So I'm just going to set those aside for him. And then we're going to move on to these over here. Like I said, they are all cleaned. And I also, what I did was in my rice cooker, what I have over here is about 3/4 of a cup of water and roughly about a tablespoon of some lemon juice. You know, it doesn't have to be exact. Just that the lemon juice is just to, you know, while you're cutting them up, that it will just prevent the apples from getting brown. So I'm going to put those in there. We're gonna see how many apples I can get into the pot. I'm not sure. I haven't done this in a while, so we shall see. We might have to do it in, you know, separate batches, but we're going to try our best. And something that I do that is different than from other people, as far as I know, I leave the skins on. I cook it with the skins and everything and puree it afterwards, skin and all. And that's how I make my applesauce. Now, I would not recommend this if you do not use organic apples, because non-organic apples will sometimes have like a waxy coating on them, and it takes a lot to wash that off. They do recommend like putting them in boiling water or really hot water and to wash all of that off of the surface of it. So I wouldn't recommend it. You know, as long as you wash them really well, you know, it could still work. But like I said, these are organic, so they are perfectly fine. I did still clean them with my vinegar water spray. So we're going to get these cut up, put them in the pot, and we're going to get these apples cooking. Okay, so I filled the rice cooker as much as I could. This was about 10 apples, so I do have some left over here still, so we're gonna have to do this in 2 batches at some point. And like I said, I haven't done this in a while, so we'll see how long this takes. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on slow cook. It has several different settings. I'm gonna put it on slow cook. The great thing about the rice cooker is you can open it up. It's not like a pressure cooker where you know you can't open it up. I guess I don't really have one, so I'm not 100% sure. But I don't think you can open it mid, you know, when you're in the middle of cooking something. So at least I can go in and I can, you know, if I need to stir the apples up just to make sure the ones on the bottom aren't getting too soft. So I'm putting on slow cook. Just keep an eye on it, and we will see how long this takes. So now that my apples are cooking, my pumpkin seeds are all set. I think it took just about like 10-15 minutes. I did in the middle, just kind of give them a quick little toss just to make sure they, you know, toast nice on each side. I did just taste them. They taste so good. These are not going to last very long because I actually kind of like these better than the cinnamon ones, surprisingly, because I love anything cinnamon, but I also love things spicy, and these are so good. So I'm going to let these just sit here on the pan, cool off, and once they are cool, I'll just put them in a mason jar and we can have them ready for a snack. So here are my pumpkin pieces all cooked up. It is nice and soft. Just keep checking it as it cooks. It took roughly about an hour. I did flip them over, so the flesh side was up about 10 minutes before they were done, just to kind of let it, you know, help it soften a little bit as well. And they have been actually sitting here cooling on my counter for good like 20 minutes or so. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to scrape the flesh of it out, and then I'm going to puree it, and I will have homemade pumpkin puree. Alright guys, so it has been about 2 hours, and wait till you see these apples. They look so good. This is the first batch already. Let's lift this up. Watch that steam coming up. You can see they are all softened. So good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove these and let them cool for quite a while before I puree them. But if you have an immersion blender, you could definitely just, you know, put that in here and blend it up as is. I don't have one yet. You know, so that's why I always say you got to use what you have. So I do have a little blender. So I'm going to blend, like I said, let this cool off, blend it up, and then I'm going to actually, while this is cooling, I'm going to put my second batch of apples because, like I said, I couldn't get them all to fit in here at once and get that cooking. Okay, so everything is now all done. I didn't show me like pureeing everything up, but basically, you know, just throw it in a blender or food processor, whatever you have. I have like a little like smoothie maker. You know, works the same way. Just use, like I said, like I always say, just use what you have. So this is all the applesauce. It did take 2 batches. And it cooked for several hours. The house smelled so good. So what I did was I put them in some mason jars. So I used a few like larger sizes. And then I know I've mentioned this in other videos, but always leave maybe about like an inch or so if you're going to freeze these at the top, you know, just for expansion when it freezes. That way the glass doesn't crack. So I left a little bit of space on the top there. So I have 5 like larger size mason jars, and then I have some smaller ones as well. These are really great, like a great size for like snacking. So what I'm going to do with the smaller ones, I'm going to leave a few in the refrigerator for my son to snack on, and then the other ones, what I did was I just stuck a little label on there, just some random labels I had around the house, you know. But if you want it to look nicer, if you're going to give this to somebody for like a gift or something, you can make it look a little fancier. So I just put what is in it, and I put the date. That way when I'm going through the freezer, I know exactly what it is and how long it has been in there. But we will definitely get through this, and it will last quite a while. And that is it. That's it for the applesauce. And like I said, like it made quite a bit. And then over here is the, what is this? The Delicata Squash. Oh my goodness, I totally forgot, guys. And it was just the ones, didn't make a ton. So it was just a little bit, just so my daughter can give that a try. And try it for the first time. We'll see how it goes. And then over here I have the pumpkin seeds. And guys, this jar, I think I've mentioned it in other videos, is I like to save jars for when I'm doing prep like this. You never know, you know, what kind of size jar you may need. So these are actually jars that were from instant espresso that I used to buy all the time. So I have several of these, and I saved them, and it was perfect for the pumpkin seeds. Now there were a few more pumpkin seeds, but I've been munching on them. They are so good. I think I like the spicy ones better than the cinnamon ones. Surprise, surprise. But they're really, really good. So great for snacking. And then also here is the pumpkin puree. So basically it's the same thing with this. I just put it in the blender and just pureed it up. I did put a little bit of water just because it was kind of getting like stuck in the machine, just so it would blend up a little bit easier, but not too much because you don't want to thin it out. So what I'm going to do with this is I may make some pumpkin donuts. If you have not seen that video yet, make sure you check it out. I did a whole vegan, they are vegan, keto, gluten-free donuts, pumpkin, and they are so good. So if I don't use this for that, I might just put it in a mason jar, portion it out, and put it in a mason jar and freeze it. This can definitely get frozen as well. If you don't have mason jars, you can use like a freezer bag, you know, anything that is, you know, freezer safe, you know. So whatever you have, you know, and available to you. Like I said, I like to save jars. I also purchase mason jars from time to time as well. So just, you know, whatever you have, it works. So that is the pumpkin puree. It looks so good, so smooth and creamy. And that is it. Like I said in the beginning of the video, it was very simple. You know, like food prep today. Just wanted to kind of get this stuff cooked and in the freezer before it goes bad. And you know, I just figured I would share it with you guys. If you like seeing videos like this and you want to see different kinds of food prep, because I know I've done different kinds of food prep and meal prep on my video, several different varieties, you know, let me know down in the comments like what you like to see. If you are liking these, make sure you give it a thumbs up. You know, that way it lets YouTube know that you are liking these videos, gets the channel out into the YouTube universe, so we can grow this channel and I can bring you some more content, great content. And also, if you're new here, I would love for you guys to just subscribe before you leave. Make sure you just hit that red button down below. It is free to subscribe. It does not cost you a thing. It is free. One of my favorite words, free. Absolutely free. So subscribe, join my YouTube family. And as always, guys, I thank you so much for watching. And until next time, I will see you soon. Bye, guys.